Hi friends, Christy here with Organized Mom of Many. I am coming to you guys with a new video, and this is one that I have never touched on before. So this will be an interesting topic for us to sit down and chat about. I have my cup of turmeric tea. Turmeric? I think that came out a little funny. Turmeric. How do you say that word anyway? I think it's turmeric. Anyway, I'm having some tea. And I'm going to do a video that one of my really great YouTube buddies wanted to do and invited me along in her collaboration. So this video is going to be kind of a sadder topic and one that I think doesn't really get touched on a whole lot, but really should be talked about. And yes, I have a little friend back here, so I'm sure he's going to be into lots of trouble as I do this video, so please don't let that distract you. But right now my husband is not at home, and I don't even have any of the big boys to help me out, so it's just me and the little kids. And so we're hanging out in my extra little room that I have upstairs. So he's going to get into all the things. Watch him. Yes, he is. He knows he's not supposed to. Solomon. Thank you. Thank you. Yay! Thank you for giving it to Mama. And he's gonna go back for the pumpkin, I'm sure. So today's video, totally off track. Today's video is going to be, I have to look because it's kind of a long title, but today is the National Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day. And this is definitely a topic that can evoke a lot of strong emotions in some people. So if you know this is going to be something that is troublesome for you, please go ahead and turn the channel now. So really the direction that she wanted to go with this collaboration is more of the experience, but what you wish people had said or not said or done or not did following that experience. And so that is something that I think a lot of people have a lot of trouble with is knowing the right thing to say to someone who has experienced a loss. And sometimes you come across those people who make comments that are less than sensitive and they don't really know how to handle the situation. So I'm going to take you guys way back to 2009 and tell you a little story about when I had a pregnancy loss. So in 2009, I was fairly newly divorced, and I was not really living the type of lifestyle that God would have had me to have been living. I was a Christian, but I was definitely not walking that faith out at that time. I wouldn't say that I was, completely backslidden or anything like that. I just was kind of, going through some tough things following divorce, and it just, it was a difficult time. And I was in a relationship with a man who is now my husband. So he and I were in a, fairly serious relationship at the time. And we had been together for quite some time. I would say probably going on a year, when I discovered that I was pregnant. And I actually sent him a text message, and I let him know that I was pregnant, and we were shocked. And we were I would say we were excited, but it was also kind of like, oh no, what are we gonna do? Because we are not married, and we were both newly divorced. It just was not expected. And I had let some of my friends at work know about the pregnancy, and I had kind of confided in them that I really was shocked about it and didn't know how I felt about it, and with not being married, and just like I felt like it was just, I really just messed up, and I felt horrible, that I had messed up in that way. So we came to terms with it, and we became excited. our relationship was very serious, and we, you know, we knew that we wanted to be together. So we got really excited about having a baby of our own, and we started to just get all the new parent feels, you know, and sort of daydream about what kind of little baby it would be, and, you know, the things that you do when you find out you're pregnant. You just get really excited. And so we did. And I had gone to the doctor, and, you know, we had pregnancy ultrasounds to confirm pregnancy, and everything looked great. And at my 11 or 12 week, I think it was right at my 12-week ultrasound, I had another ultrasound planned for more of dating reasons, because I wasn't quite sure, you know, how far along I was. We went in, and I was ecstatic. I had just gone out and bought this long maxi dress with this really high, like, empire waist, you know, that kind of showed off my little baby bump, and I was really excited. And we went in, and I can just remember being so anxious to get back there, because I knew we were going to have an ultrasound. And we, you know, went back, and I remember the technician, you know, started the ultrasound, and she didn't say anything, and she just kept looking and looking and looking, and she wasn't saying anything. And then she left the room. She said she would be right back. And so at that time, being a nurse, I knew there was something wrong. So the doctor came in, and he picked up the, you know, the ultrasound, and was also taking a look, and he put it down, and he said, "I'm very sorry to have to tell you this, but the baby does not have a heartbeat." And so I was just devastated. I was completely blown away. I almost did not even understand what the baby doesn't have a heartbeat mean. I was just thinking to myself, that's impossible. That's impossible, you know? And so he was just very matter of fact. "I'm really sorry, you know, you're going to have to either let your body do this naturally, or we'll, you know, schedule you for a D&C, or there's some medications that we can give you to speed up the process." And I was just in shock. So we decided to go forward with natural, you know, let my body handle things naturally. And so I waited and I waited almost a week or two, I would say, just in agony, knowing that I was carrying, you know, this baby that was no longer alive, and I was just in absolute agony. And my body just never reacted to this. Maybe I didn't wait long enough, but my body just never reacted to the miscarriage. And so we opted to have a D&C, which I actually regret doing, but that's a whole nother story for another day. But I actually went forward with the D&C. I had a really, really hard recovery from the D&C, and a lot of cramping, a lot of pain. I had a lot of lower back pain for an extended amount of time. The worst part of the whole process, though, was my mental health. I think a lot of it has to do with the surge of hormones that you get, and then the crash of hormones that you get, and on top of the fact that you're grieving a loss. So there is so much that goes into this physiologically and emotionally and mentally. And I was just struggling afterwards, very much struggling. And I kind of felt like I went into a depression after that period of time. And I can remember, you know, not a lot of people knew that I was pregnant, but a lot of people from my work knew that I was pregnant. And I got a lot of comments that I was not expecting. Comments like, "You must be so relieved." And, you know, "Well, I thought you didn't want this pregnancy anyway." And things, you know, along those lines. And it was so hurtful. It was so hurtful. You know, this was a life that, you know, I had come to accept and look forward to. And, you know, I believe every single baby is a blessing, whether it's born out of wedlock or not. And so I got a lot of comments like, just like that, just very, very harsh, very, very cruel. Well, it wasn't God's will, or maybe there was something wrong with the baby. You're probably better off that, you know, you didn't have the baby, and all kinds of things like that. And there's really just not enough, I think, education to know, for people to know like how and what to say to someone who is going through a miscarriage. What I had wished that people had said to me, and a lot of people did say to me, like my parents and, you know, close friends and family, was, I'm so sorry for your loss, you know. I am so sorry that you're going through this physically. I wish that they had said, you know, don't rush this grieving process, because you're going to need time to heal from this physically and emotionally. Here you go, sweetie. Sorry, you guys. I know it's probably a little bit distracting, but he's a little bit cranky. Okay, come here. What do you want Mommy to do? What do you want Mommy to do, huh? What? What do you want Mama to do? Okay, let's not throw it. Getting a little violent there, buddy. He just pulled the tea bag out of my tea. Okay. Well, that's the way to lighten up the moment. Thanks for that. And now I have tea all over my table. You know, whenever somebody is going through a miscarriage, they are, especially if it's their first one, I think, they are really confused about what's happening. They're confused about what they're feeling. They're confused about just everything. Like, I had no idea what was going on with my body. I had no idea what to expect. And I really wasn't even expecting people to be so unkind in their comments. Looking back, I realized that they, you know, just really, truly did not know how to handle the situation. Sorry, you guys. I did have to find at least 5 minutes of childcare for that little guy. He was just being too disruptive. So anyway, back to what I was saying. I just think that people just don't know what to say. And I really wish that more people would just weep with those who weep, like the Bible tells us to do. Grieve with those who grieve, and rejoice with those who rejoice. Sometimes the best thing that we can do with a grieving mother, someone who has either lost a child or lost, you know, a pregnancy, which is a child, but it's a different kind of loss, is just to be with them, grieve with them, be present with them, because there's just some very lonely and dark days at times afterwards. And just be gentle and kind with our words, and be thoughtful, and try to think about, what can I do to maybe lift her spirits a little bit? What kind of encouraging scripture can I just give to her, maybe, that would, you know, soothe her soul? You know, could I maybe make a meal, or just take her other children, or something like that? So there's a lot of different ways that you can comfort somebody who's grieving, and a lot of times it's not the words that are the most comforting. It's the actions of the people that show that they care about you. So for anybody out there who's in the middle of a loss of some sort right now, just know that you are not alone, and there's a lot of ladies who have gone through exactly what you're going through, and it's a very scary and it's a very emotional time, but the very best thing that you can do is reach out and get some support from somebody who has gone through it, and just know that the Lord is right there with you and knows every step of the way of what you're going through. And just lean on Him as your rock, and He will bring you through the valley. Sometimes the valleys are long, and sometimes they are very, very rocky, but He is faithful to bring you through, and I can definitely testify to that. I had a very difficult time after my miscarriage, but he brought me through, and I have since had 3 more babies since then, and they've all been very healthy and wonderful pregnancies. So, well, I wouldn't say wonderful pregnancies. The last pregnancy was rough, but nonetheless, baby was healthy and everything was good in the end. So just hang in there, and reach out for help. So I hope that this was an encouragement to some of you who have suffered a loss or are going through a loss, or maybe just wanting to know how to handle somebody who is going through that right now. So just try to be very conscientious of what you are saying and how you're saying it to these very sensitive, grieving mamas. And be sure to head over to Creating Essence channel and check out her videos. She is a very, very sweet, sweet lady, and I have really enjoyed getting to know her through our social media interactions. So head on over there and check her out, and be sure, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys again very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.